So if you are not audible or stuck somewhere, just let me know. In the previous session, we were discussing about wall placement and wall type of walls that can be drawn, doors, windows, grids, and columns, right? So today's session will continue that with uh, floors, roofs, ramps, stairs, and if time permits, we'll draw with a small file or how to import a CAD file and start working on that in Revit. We'll cover that also if time permits. First, let's go to Revit first. So I just wanted to open a new template. That template is of default settings. So I'll go for default metric and hit OK. So this is our template, and we know this is a drawing area and a properties bar at project browser. And say this is our background screen. Sometimes you may not be comfortable working with this type of background screen, or you want to change the color of your background screen, right? For that, you have to go for the file, go for options. If you have done for AutoCAD, the option is same here as well. The same option goes works in AutoCAD also. If you want to change the color, you have to go for options. The options, you can see a lot of settings are there. If I go to graphics, you can see the background color is white. If you want to change the color to say black, hit OK. OK. So you have your black background. If you are working for a long time, like say continuously, then it's preferable to have a darker shade color so that your eyes will not be getting affected. So for demonstration purpose, or if you want to show your model to someone, it's okay if your color is white. But if you're working for longer times, it's better to change the color to somewhat grayish shade or black color, because most of the times people will be working in 32 inches monitor. So for that, if you don't want your eyes to be straining, you can just choose this option. And also here we have something called hardware. If you are using a graphic card that is suggested by Revit or Autodesk for Revit, you can use this hardware acceleration. Also, your rendering or your functionality of Revit will be somewhat good. And we know what is a graphic card over here. The system's graphic card will be displayed over here. If you don't want to use your system's graphic card, and if you find somewhere you're stuck, you find your software is always stuck, and you are having like you are using a lesser version of graphic card, yeah, you can uncheck this, use hardware acceleration, so that the system will use default graphics, the option that is present here in your motherboard, that is in your processor, will not use the additional graphic card. This is for lower end only. If you are using higher end graphic card, it may support the Revit. But it is better if you're going, like if your workflow is completely dependent on Revit, it is better to use the graphic card suggested by Autodesk. And here we have the file locations where our default templates are. This will cover later, but just remember all the graphics related settings will be there here. Same as like the UCS icon we see in AutoCAD. Such settings can be found over here in the graphics. And now, so we have the black color, we have properties bar, we have project browser. So we have seen wall and doors, right? Yesterday, the previous session, we couldn't load the families. Now let's see that. So we have this wall, and if I want to go to door, there are only predefined set of doors that are there. And if I want to load additional doors, I have downloaded a package. So please try to use, try to load a family here via this. If you're not accessing that package, I will let you know how to download the package for your systems. So if you have the package already in your system and you want to load that particular family in your project, you have to go for insert and you have to go for load family. So here you are going to load only the families that you are going to use, because if you are loading unnecessary projects or unnecessary models or families in your project, the project size is going to increase. So it's suggesting that you only load the families which you are going to use. So here let me load some windows or doors. So these are different types of doors that are available in Revit by default. So I'm doing for external doors. Here, if I scroll down, there are multiple types of doors that are there by default. So for example, this is a double door. I want this type of door. Then hit open. This will be loaded in your project. And where will this particular load be? As we know, Revit is an intelligent model-based process or software. So this door will be classified as a family of doors. This will be available in doors. So for example, if you're loading a window, it will be in the Windows family. And if you're loading a furniture, where will that be? That will be in the components. We'll see that also. So door. So this is a recently added family, right? So remember, when you go to a drop down and select any drop down, in that drop down, the recently added family will be highlighted, whatever that is. Here we have loaded doors, right? That is why door is being highlighted, the recently added door. Now after selecting this, you can place it anywhere as per your design requirement. So you can view it in realistic mode. Here things will not going to change because this is how a door is being represented in our floor plan. But as soon as I go to 3D and make it shaded, you can see the door comes to life. It has all the properties the same. You don't have to repeat it again and again. You can see all the settings related to that door. Height. If you go to edit type for that particular door, you can see you can also change the properties of this door as well. Here there is a glazing door. If you want to change it, select this and you can add any material you want. That is the option that they have given for this door. The customization are there, like thickness, whatever the parameters that is there here. If you change it, it will be changed. So that is why Revit is called parametric or the software that enables parametric families. So these are the type of inputs that you can give and the system will automatically going to change the output. Say for example, the thickness is 44 mm. If you change it, it will be changed in the software in real time. And the height, everything is customizable that they have given here, right? So same goes for Windows. If you want to load a window, just go for Insert, Load Family. Here we have doors, catalog of doors. Let me go to Windows. So we have multiple windows. Let's say this is the window I want, or I can scroll through the number of windows that are available by default in Revit. So these are the not the only windows you can load. You can, as I've said, you can load from the software, the websites that are available, the clients. Say for example, there is a company called Asahi. Asahi produces glass and also type of doors. You can go to that company's website and download the directly blocks from them, or they also provide Revit families also. So if some customer is suggesting like I want this particular type of doors, you can directly go to their website and import the families. The same for Tata's. Many Tata products also provide the families. Since everyone in India is now catching up, they want to incorporate their products in the design stage itself. So it's possible to download their Revit families and directly incorporate in your project. So like that you can place. The same for Windows as well, as we've discussed. If you want the orientation to left or right, this direction or that direction, you can place it even after placing in your project. So if you go to 3D, you can see it's there. If you want to adjust the sill height, you can adjust it over here, the sill height over here, and also what is the closure of the exterior wall and what is the closure of its interior wall. And even so, if you want to change its dimensions, you have to go for edit type. Here we have its width, we have its height. Depending on your project requirement, you can change its width or height, and the system will be increasing proportionately. So what does that mean is, so this is 850 right now, and if I increase to 1000, there is a 150 mm increase, right? How should the 150 mm increase? It should be increased equally, 75 this side, 75 this side. That is called parametric family, and every family that will be created in Revit will be parametric in order to make this change happen. and this itself is a discipline, and people will be like companies will be hiring people only to create such families. As I've said, nowadays every other company is providing AutoCAD or Revit families, so they are hiring people only to make this type of Revit blocks, so that people can incorporate these blocks in the design stage itself. And these are for doors and windows. Now, what about the furniture? Now, let me extend this wall in 3 directions, something like this. So you can see how intelligently software is connecting these two blocks. As I connect, it's going to be joined. See that? So in Revit, you have to, in AutoCAD, you have to trim it manually. Happen. Now, if I want to have a door, I can place any type of door like this. So we have our rooms. Just imagine. Now I just do this somewhat like this. Now I want to place furniture. Where do I go? I have to go for component. Place a component. So we have only one component or two components over here. So for example, if I want to place a dining table here, I have to go for insert. Again, same process. Just go family. This time I'm going for furniture. Here we have devices. So this is a TV set. Seating. In the seating we have multiple types of furniture available here. There is a chair array also. So I'll just show this option. Architecture, component, place the component. You can see there is a chair array. This is for theaters. Let's say this is a theater, and I'll just remove this wall. You can see the orientation can be rotated. As I've said, take a rotate command. You can rotate the orientation as per your requirement, or you can move it. Now coming to this furniture, click on this. It's also customizable again. Just go to Edit tab. You can see the elevation, the number of rows. You can add, say if I want 5 rows, you can see it's being reduced to 5 rows. And also the metal, the texture, everything is customizable. And as soon as I go to 3D, so instead of placing individual chairs, they are making it in a form of array, and this array is also customizable. This we can do for our own families also. Not only the given family, the type of family it is there, we can customize and we can place our own family also. Let me take one more furniture. For that, let me insert. So what I'm currently looking for is set of sofa. I've just inserted, loaded the sofa in my family, and as soon as I go to component, place a component, the recently loaded furniture is going to, element is going to be highlighted. Now I can place it wherever I want. So obviously here the orientation is wrong. Now you can just rotate it, place it something like this, and give it a 90-degree turn. So we have a sofa. If you want to see only this particular object in 3D, is it possible? Yes, it is possible. All you have to go to view. Here you can either take the section like this. After taking section, if you want to go to the view, you can just go to the section, So you can see only this particular object. So normally section is a very tough concept in AutoCAD, right? You have to imagine a lot of things, but here in Revit, section is just a click away. Here you can take the section, and there is one more option, that is scope box, or you can just take a particular selection of your drawing, whatever the drawing is. Like for example, this particular selection is there. You want to see that in 3D, there is an option for that with this selection box. If you select that selection box, you can see only that particular element in 3D, like this. Right? This can be done for any object. Like if you are having a huge drawing and if you want to set only one particular object, you want to see that particular object, select that object and go for this selection box. And if you want to come back to your 3D view, in the 3D view, just uncheck this selection box. You'll be back with your 3D view. Like for example, I want to see only this particular object. Select that object. Okay, here is an option of selection box. Only that particular object will be visible. If you select that, again you can make the changes. But if you want to come back again, click anywhere outside, you will be in the 3D view, right? This is what our current view is. How do we know we are in 3D view? You go to this 3D view, it will be highlighted. As we discussed, the main function of project browser is it will highlight whatever the view we are in. Sometimes people will get confused, like how to get out of this selection box, because either you can go click level 1, you'll be there. But again, if you go to 3D view, you'll be stuck in this particular selection. If you want to come back out of this selection box, you can hit uncheck this selection box option. So then you'll have your normal 3D view. Okay. So we have seen door, window, and components. We've seen how to place columns also. Now let's say we have done our project and we want to give top and bottom for this particular walls. Here, if I want to select only walls, how do I do it? Select all, go to filter. Filter will be there if you are selecting more than one component. And I am going to uncheck all, select walls, hit OK. Now walls are way beyond my first floor, first level 2. I want to restrict this wall to only first floor. The top constraint I'll restrict to first floor so that you can see the wall is traveling only until the first floor. Now I'll go to level 1. My intention is now to give a top and bottom so that it looks like a building. So that I am going to give something called floor. Here, remember the floor terminology in Revit is equivalent of slab in our India. So whatever we draw slab, right, that is called floor in Revit. Then select the floor architecture. All these other options are for structural purposes. Floor architecture is for architectural purpose. Then you have to select the thickness of your floor, whatever the thickness is. If you want to customize the thickness, just same. Go to edit type. First you have to duplicate, like say for example, if your floor is 200 mm, first you have to duplicate. If you don't duplicate, wherever 150 mm is there, it will be of 200 mm. So that is the first thing you have to remember, and first thing you have to do when you are having a different floor type than the generic one. Go for structure. Here also I change from 150 to 200. OK. Apply. Okay. Now we have formed 200 mm, which is different from 150 mm. This is what our requirement is. So for floors, you have multiple tool sets to draw the floor. I can draw with a line like this, select all the edges like this. But if your building is square, you don't have to use this line option. Rectangle option. Drag down the edge. As soon as you go to the edge, there is a swap. You can see that swap is happening because we have a snap over. We have a grip over there. That grip is going to snap with our edges, and we have 4 edges covered. Just hit finish. We have our slab. Right. So this is what our slab is. So once we have done with a slab, it's easy to copy the slab to next floor. So this is in ground floor. I want to copy to first floor. Just copy, paste, align to selected level, level 2, because we are only having 2 floors in our project. That's it. And for example, let's say I want to edit my slab. Select these things, go to filter, floor is my slab. I'm going to edit my slab. So if you want to edit your slab after your slab is done, then you have to select the slab first. You have to hit edit boundary. Then the slab again will come. If you want to change its direction or if you want to change its shape, it is also possible now after you've done your slab. say I have extended my slab until here. Let's make it realistic so that we'll see. So this is what my wall is. Now my slab is being extended outside. Let's say I'll go to 3D and show you. Yeah. Even after doing the drawing also it is possible. Again, if you want to go back, just Control C. It will be undone. Now Control Y. So Control Y can be done if you want to redo it. Again, if you want to say I have this slab is done. Now let me take once again the floor. I'll take, you can draw your slab in a circular direction, also a circular method also like this. This is also same 200 mm. Now one more thing I want to show you is I'm going to draw a slab like this. Okay, so this is a circular slab, so it's okay. What if I have a cut over here for my staircase, right? So most of the some cases what happens is we have a floor and we have a staircase in between or running over here. For that, what do we need? We need a cut in the slab, right? For such cases also you have to go to select the slab first, go to edit boundary. Then if you draw something upon this in the boundary itself, right? So this is my slab, original slab, and I want this portion to be cut. I'm drawing a area upon my original slab and then I'll just finish it. So you can check it in 3D, there will be a cut. This cut is possible for all the shapes. So just go to edit boundary. What if it's a circular surface? Just select this tool. You can just give an arc also like this, finish it off. You can see you can cut it as per your requirement. There is no limit for this. So first let me go to any level. I'll just quickly draw some few more levels, add few more levels to a project. Just select level. I'll give offset of 4000 mm. Now I'll just add few more levels to a project. Like this. Go to level 1 now. Just delete this. So this is my total house or total plan. I want to copy everything to next floor. Select all. Here already have something here, right? This will again be copied. If you don't want that to be copied, you can just come here and you can copy whatever you want. So here I can see there is a disturbance, or there are levels that are there in this project. Right now I don't want to see these levels. All right, I want to turn off these levels. For that I can go to visibility graphic settings, that is VG or VB, the shortcut. Here this particular option will allow me to restrict the view that is there. Like for example, this is 3D view. What are the things that I have to show or I have to view in this particular view can be controlled in this VG settings. Okay, even in plan view or whatever the view you are, if you tap this VG option, you can turn on or turn off certain options so that you can see them in your project or you can unsee them in your project. Like say for example, if I turn off walls, that will be there in my project. Walls will be there in my project, but I cannot see. Even if I draw a new wall, you can see there is an error message showing that the walls will not be visible in your project. Why? Because it is turned off in my particular view in the visibility graphic settings. In order to access, either you can press VV or VG, that is a shortcut. Again, you have to turn on or off the particular option. So here right now this we'll use a lot of times, multiple times, and we'll see what are the uses and benefits of those. So currently my requirement is to turn off this levels in the 3D view. Levels will be there in the level plans and all, but in the 3D views it is causing a hindrance for me. I just wanted to delete or hide these levels for temporary basis. Go for VG. Annotation categories. I'll go for levels, uncheck this, apply. It will be there in your project, but it will not be visible on a temporary basis. So I'll just delete this because anyway I'm going to copy everything to next level. Select all, copy, paste, align to selected level, all the levels. Uncheck the first level because it's there already in the first level. You can see for the multi-story levels, multi-story buildings, you can imagine how effective Revit is going to be. You are putting your effect only once and you are generating the views in such a way that manual drafting or manual modeling cannot draft or match your pace. So here you can see there is one more challenge, that is this levels is showing in between my project. I want to move that. You don't have to put much effort. Just select any one level and there will be a small circle over here. Select that particular circle and drag outside. All the levels will be outside. It's not like a fault in the program. It's just I'm trying to make this way out of my drawing passive. Now if I want to see that in realistic way, I can also see. The only thing missing is in the level 8, I'm not going to have a, there is no upper level. So it's going to be under level. As I've said, any floor you draw, I'll just show the elevation. Any floor you draw, that will be below the level, right? So there are like 3 levels in Revit, or sorry, in drawings. That is slab, structural slab level, and finished floor level, right? So can you say what is the difference between these 3? The SSL, FFL, and SL. Hello, am I audible, right?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Hello.
Yes, you're audible, sir.
I'm audible, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you tell what is the difference between SSL, FFL?
FFL is the finished floor level.
Sorry.
FFL means the
Yeah.
finished floor level, wherein we'll
Yeah.
have the tiles and flooring finishes will be there.
Yeah.
And slab floor level is the SFL, wherein we'll not have any finishes in that.
Yeah. I'll just tell. Structural slab level is something like uh, you have done only slab, right? Then it is called structural slab level. And slab level is something which you have done the finish for the slab, and also you have laid your tiles or something like that, whatever that comes upon the slab. The last level is finished floor level. That level you will only calculate once your carpet layer also is finished. So this mostly not applicable in India, but in other countries, in European countries or in America, what they call FFL is whatever that is a final layer. So there is no more layer upon that. You lay your so because they have insulation and all the stuff like that, right? They'll lay slab. Mostly the slab will be of wood, and also upon that they lay a insulation layer. Okay, upon that they may lay tile, or also they may lay some epoxy type of thing, right? That they call as finished floor layer. In India, mostly there'll be slab. Upon the slab we have tile. We don't normally use carpets in most of the cases, except if it's a functional or if it's a uh, like urban housing. So SL is limited mostly in India, but here in this terminology they call FFL, and the height will be measured from FFL to FFL. Whatever the height you are measuring, you can see whatever the slab is there, upon the slab, if you are providing tile, upon the tile you are providing some sort of carpet, the height will be measured from that point to the next floor to that point. Okay, not below the slab. So that you have to remember. Clear? So here in our project we have 8 levels, and if you don't have 9th level, it's going to be stopped over here. But this should copied to the 9th floor. So I am going to create one more level, or I can just copy, paste, align to selected level, the same level. But this thing, what I'm going to do is there is something called height offset. The height offset I'll give 4. Now for the same level, I'm going to have 2 slabs or 2 floors as per level. But these floors, if I put them together, what happens is that will be double, right? When we take the quantity also, that will be double. But instead of creating one more level, I can copy the same slab to the height of 4000 mm offset. Or what I can do is go to any elevation, create one more level, offset of 4000 mm. Hit like this, and we have one more level. Now this slab, so remember, just like if you're selecting something in 3D, you have to go to that and you can just select tab until you have you got your selection. So this works because, like, say for example, if I go in this direction, it's easy for me to select the slab. But if I go in this direction, there are multiple selections in the given location. So if you want to select the slab, just hit tab multiple times until you got your selection. So I got my selection, copy, paste, align to selected level. So level 9 is where I want my slab to be. So now this is perfect. So this is not perfect because the slab should be extended for stairs and all, but for the imaginary sake, let's say we have created everything. Now let me go to level 9. This is the top of my building, and if I want to have a cut over here, it's easy to go to first level and cut it and then copy all the levels. But for example, let's say I have my slab and I want to give a shaft. So what is the shaft? Shaft is something opening in the whole building that we provide for ventilation, and as well as like all the pipelines for all the drain pipes and the pipes coming out of plumbings, right? In typical apartments, we provide shafts, and also we do provide shafts for the lifts. These shafts can be drawn with an option shaft over here. So if I want to the normal process, what I have to do, select the particular floor, then you have to go for edit boundary, give your dimension where the shaft comes, hit, then this thing should be copied for all the floors. Right? That is one way. Now there is one more way that you can provide shaft. Shaft can be provided with the shaft option. So I'm in the top floor, go to shaft option and select the shape, particular type of shape you want to give. Let's say I have my shaft for this building over here or over here, something like this. Hit finish. This shaft will be formed for throughout the building. You can just extend throughout the building. The shaft will be visible. You can go to any floor. You can see it's cut until bottom. This is used for our lifts as well as shaft openings that we give for our plumbings. So you can see the shaft is displayed over here. Even if I turn it to realistic mode, I can see the cut. So this is one method to provide shafts. So there is one more option, there is one more concept in floors, that is, say I have drawn floors, a floor like this, 20,000 by 10,000, okay. This particular floor, if I drop water at the center, where will it go? it's not going anywhere because it's not tinted or it's not. So let me first move this somewhere like this. Select this. I will go to elevation east. So here, if I pour water like this, where will it go? It's not going anywhere because there is no particular slope mentioned in this plan or for this floor. In order to provide roof, you have to again go for edit type or select the roof, go for edit boundary. If you edit boundary, the structure will be edited, but you have to not use that option. You have to go for modify sub element. Select your first line or your second line, like say this particular point, whatever the slope you want to give, you can give. But if I want to give the slope at the center, for that I'll just make it wireframe. Now select the flow. You can just go for modify sub element. You have to go for add point. This point can be placed anywhere. Like this. Enter. Again modify sub element. This particular point, if I select the elevation to say 100, because these are in mm, you can see there is a slope. The slope is marginally visible, but there is a slope. Now if I pour water at the center, it's going to be distributed in 4 directions. And so what are the other ways to draw slope? Let's say I have something like this. Okay, now finish. Go for modify sub element. Now you can just add spline line, split line, where you are going to divide the slope with the form of a line. Now again select this, modify sub element. This particular point, because everything is 0, the slope here also 0. Say if I increase 200, this particular point will be of 200 mm. Let's go to elevation here. It's marginally visible because it's 200 mm, but let's go to one more elevation. You can see here, right? Even though it's 200 mm, it's still there. Now if something is out to fall over here, water or element, it's going to be distributed equally in both the directions. This is especially useful when you're drawing floor plans and in the washrooms or in the toilets, WC area. If you're drawing floor plans, make sure that you provide the slope as well as that's it. Because the MEP guys, they also provide flow drains and all the concepts, but in the architectural drawings, you have to just provide the slope for the floors. Okay. So that is what floors and floor architecture is. Covered almost all the concepts in floors. Now let's go to some other concept, that is ramp. Here it's there. So how do we draw ramp? Just say take the ramp. We have 2 options: run, boundary, and riser. Select the run. Select the shape you want to draw. Give the first point to last point. The ramp is done. But there is a downside for ramp option in Revit, because the ramp option is normally not useful that much. So people don't use ramp option. Instead of ramp option, I'll show the better way to draw. Say you have 2 floors. And I'll just copy to next floor. So if my intention is to cover the first floor to second floor, what I'll do is say this is my external most wall, and I'll just draw a ramp like this, or I don't use ramp normally because ramp is not that good in Revit. It's only useful in specific cases, but instead of ramp you can just use floor itself and it is going to be way better than RAM, like this. And it's going to extend till end. You can just give like this. I'm just eyeballing like this. Now finish it off. Then select this, go for add split line. So if this is your end of your RAM, just give something like this. Now let's go to 3D and check it, what we have done. What we have done, you select, I'll just make it wireframe. So we have selected a path, and this particular path is 0 point. This should attach over here, right? That we will do first. Now go for modify subelement. This point I'll give height of 4000. It's going to be attached. Now this point again I'll give 4000. Now you can see there is a particular path via which a ramp is formed. I'll make it 3D, realistic. Now you can see we have made a connection. So this is a type of ramp that is used in many usages. So if you want a railing for this particular ramp, you have to go for railing, pick place on stair or ramp, select, or you can just this is for only stairs, railing, sketch path, or in the sketch path you have to go for pick lines, select this particular line. If you are confused in 3D view, you have to go for like this, you have to switch between, because it's not easy to draw in 2D in 3D. But if I draw railings will always be in straight path. If I want to make these railings attached to this particular ramp or this particular floor, select this railing. You have to select this option, pick new host, select this railing. So it will be directly attached to our floor. Customize this railing as well. Go to edit type. You can see this railing is of 1100 mm. You can use different types of pipes. If you want a glass, you can attach the glass also like this. This is a glass type of railing, and also the distance, height of the baluster, everything is customizable. In the if you go to rail structure, you can see the different types of profiles that are available. You can choose the type of profile you want. Also the baluster placement, its offset, and all. We'll explore the railing option, but I'm just trying to give a glance how to draw a ramp. That is a better way to draw a ramp rather than the default ramp. So this is for normal staircase. So now let's say what if you are having a staircase with a structural curvature? That will also happen, right? When you are drawing or when you are designing your staircase for a ramp or a parking area. So I'll just draw floor first. Something like this. I'll just copy it to next level. So my requirement now is I want to connect this level to next level with a circular ramp that we see in the parking areas, right? For that, first what I'm going to do is I'm just going to have a reference line here with the model line, because it enables me to visualize what is the curvature I need. After seeing this curvature, if I'm okay, then I'll go for floor architecture. So my requirement now will be, say for example, if I want to give a 3000 mm of ramp, 1500 this side, 1500 of this side, this is a reference line, and if I draw 1500 both sides, that will be 3000 mm. So that is what I'm going to do. I'm just going for a pick line and offset of 1500 mm. So on both sides, I'll just go for 1500 mm. Now, if I finish it off, it's not going to finish because the loop has to be always closed. In order to form a floor, you have to always close the loop. Okay, continue sketching. Now here, I have to drag it like this so that it will touch the plan or floor plan. Then I have to finish it here. So if you don't see a continuation of this big line, your roof, your floor will never be finished. Okay, this also like this. Now let me take one more line, finish it off. So we have a circular ramp, but my requirement is to touch this ramp to this floor. For that, I'll go to level 1 again, select this ramp, go for modify sub element. So this is this point which I want to give as 4000 mm. As soon as I hit that 4000 mm, you can see the ramp is with the curvature. Ramp, we don't have any railing because it's what you call from one floor to another floor, but I can draw a wall if I want. I'll show that. Here we've done with the ramp. Now I've taken a model line in the beginning, right? So the purpose of model line is finished. Now I can select the model line and delete it so that it is no more a hindrance. If I want a wall, I can draw a wall. Just go to wall architecture. You can just select this big face or big line. You can select the default type of wall that you have to draw. Just select the faces. You have your wall. Now you can see it's not going to continue because it's going to be unconstrained, or it's not going to be formed until next level. You have to drag it, but before that you have to cut this wall according to the shape, or if you want to just give support only to this state ramp, you can just attach top base, select this. Sorry. If you want to just attach this particular wall to any element, you have to select attach top base. Okay, it's not continuous, so it's not coming, but in other direction, upwards. Let's say I have drawn the top of the floor. Offset of, say, generally I'm taking offset inside. To take the height of this particular wall, width of this particular wall, I just go to level 1. So here I'm going to take the wall. The wall is of 140 mm, so let me take it 140 mm offset, a big line. Now the wall is upon the, you can see the wall is upon the stair ramp. This option is applicable now. Attach top base. So okay, that's because it's coming upwards. Let me just make it like this. I'm going to decrease the size. Now there is an error. I'll just check it out and inform later what the error is. So that error may be technicality. If at all the command you are trying to execute is not possible in Revit, you'll be greeted with an error. You have to find an alternative solution. But this is how we are going to draw a ramp, not by a regular ramp option. Regular ramp is only useful whenever you are saying trying to draw a straight ramp which has a set of defined conditions with thickness and the slope and its length is defined, and you're okay with that, and you don't have any other particular challenges of this ramp is like this, then you can draw the lamp. So there is a default warning that will be there, but it's okay because this indicates that our height is not going to match. So there is a rule for ramp. So how much slope you have to add for 1 feet, that is going to be defined by what is the application of that particular ramp. Like for example, if you're providing the ramp for hospitals, this has to be only in this particular ratio only. So 1:12. So this particular ratio only you have to give if you're designing for hospitals, and also this ratio is slightly similar to all the other options. So why we are having error is, here you can see with this height, if I'm going to draw a ramp, it is not going to touch the next floor. It has to start from this place. So if I'm going to design in this given environment from that place, it's going to take a lot of space. So this type of ramp is especially useful when you're following design standards and it demands particular design standard in the location, like as I've said, in the hospitals. Okay, so there is one more concept, that is staircase. Let's see. So in AutoCAD, if you want to draw a stair, it's a mandate, it's a mundane task, and it takes a lot of time. But in Revit, it's a click of a button. So we know we are going from level 1 to level 2, right? Then you have to go to stairs. You have to select the type of stair you want. This is a normal straight stair. You know the stair is of straight way. Then we have to select the type of stair it is. So we have certain 3 or 4 different types of stair we can draw. If it's industrial, you can select industrial stair. If it's assembled, in assemble you have 3 different types of stairs. If it's in cast in place, which stairs which are in concrete, you can select the cast in place. If you're just casting somewhere else and taking your stairs to the side, it's called precast. You can select that if you're designing that. Most of the cases in India, we are going for monolithic because we are normally assembling, and we are not going to assemble the staircase. We are going to cast the staircase in place. So from level 1 to level 2. So here we have the number of stairs to 23. This system is going to take automatically based on our riser height and tread depth. In case if you have to change that, go for edit type. Here you can give the riser height and tread depth as per your requirement, as per your design requirement. You can change it and also run it. These 3 can be changed over here. Even in case you have more defined calculation rules, go for the calculation rules over here. Just check this and you can see the calculation 2 into times of riser plus 1 into times of depth is going to be this much. This rules you can give to your system, or else if you don't want this, you can just simply mention your riser height and tread depth. Apply, hit OK. Then just remember the steps. We have locked all the parameters. Level 1 to level 2 is going to touch from 0, and also we know there are 23 stairs in our project. And in the halfway, say for example at 12 or 11, I want to keep my landing. That is my requirement. First, we don't use landing. We'll straight away go for straight stairs. 23, right? You have to give your first click and slowly drag it. Just don't click anywhere. Slowly drag it, and once you find 0, right? The 0 remaining. Click it anywhere after that. After you've done with this, So this will be a start point, this will be end point. Then you have to remember, you have to always finish this. If you don't finish this until then, you'll find errors. So whenever you're creating stairs, you have to finish it. Now with the symbol indication, we know that this is the entrance of our stairs. Let's see how this is going to be visible in 3D. You can see I have a final output of the staircase with the perfect representation. So you can't even imagine this type of work in AutoCAD. The stairs and these are the railings. The stairs, in case if you don't want the railings, you can just delete it. Again, if you want the railing at the later stage, you can provide the railings at the later stage. Okay, so this is one type. Now, what if you want to draw railings, stairs with landings? I'll just go for stairs. Now let me go for assemble. So 190 mm and the calculations here are okay. Now 22 are the number that are going to form. So 22 means I'll take the landing at 11. Let's say the first click I'm going to give, just drag it like this. So as soon as I hit 11, it's okay. Now you have to just expand like this. The 1000 is okay for me. Just don't click anywhere and just come like this. So like that, you can provide a landing. Even after you're done with your what you call design, you can just adjust this parameters. So if you want to decrease, you can decrease, or if you want to just decrease the landing distance or increase the landing distance, you can increase it or decrease it by just pressing like this. Let's say if you want to make it 1200, you can now also do it. So once you're comfortable with the design, you're okay with the design, then you have to hit finish. You have your step. Right? There are multiple options also in the staircase. If we dig deep in the staircase, it'll only take like one full session. So that much of concept is there in the staircase. So, for example, if I want to give a new material to my staircase, it's also possible. Just go to the type. Here you can see the run type is there, right? Below that, you can select the type of supports that you want to give to your staircase, and also if I select this type of support here, what is the type of support you want to give for the right side? What is that? That means is, I'll just show it here. Here there is no support, right? If I want to give the support for this particular end, just go for the support, right support. You can just select the carriage option, apply. You can see it's been changed. Now we have something different, and also same. If you want to change something in the left side also, you can change it. After that, what is the type of cut you want to give? Here, the lines that are being visible, right? What are the type of lines that you want to give? That also can be changed. Not only that, I'll just show one more option. What is the use of, like, if it is an external or if it is an internal type? And the landing, if I come to landing, also the properties that I can give the landing also can be visible in this particular area. So these are for, suppose these are for cut marks. I'm interested in something else, that is, say, select the staircase. So this is a run type, right? So run type is of 50 mm tread. If I select this run type, again we will be created with set of settings. Here we can see the tread material. what is the material that we are going to use. If I select any wood on the top of the concrete, you have your wood as a tread material. And also, if you give a nosing profile here, say 50 mm, you can see there is an extension. So tread is something this, riser is this, right? If you are going to select tread as a wood material, you have your concrete staircase. Upon that, you can give the material of wood. And also if you want extension, you can just give nosing length of 50. If you want a circular profile here, select the C shape, whatever the shape you want. So sorry, that's a different shape. Something like this. Hit OK. Now if I go to hit apply, hit OK. If I go to this profile, you can see there is a curvature. So as I've said, there is plenty of options in staircase to explore. You have to do, all you have to do is go to edit tab. In the edit tab, so once you're done with your values, you can just select the type of run that is there here. Then if you click on that extension, you can see the tread material, the riser material. If you want to give one more riser material also, you can give the riser materials in this catalog. After that, you can give the properties for the tread. Like if you want to give some type of extension for the tread, you can give, and also for the riser as well. And hit OK. You have your properties. Whatever the property we choose, you'll see we have two types of properties given that will be displayed over here. The same for riser and tread, and how the staircase is going to look. This is what, right? This is what mentioned here. The supports, right, center, middle, right? If I click on this middle support, there will be middle support for me. And so for the right support, if I select none, there will be no support. So there are certain staircase or application which you can see in this method also, right? So this is called as support. So some cases what you can see, like some buildings, these stairs will be attached to the building. They will not be visible, right? So in such instances, we are going to use this. And for some buildings, you may see the railings in glass panel. For that, just select the railings, select the glass panels. So you can see we have glass panels now. And these also glass panels are customizable. Like what is the baluster size, the length and the shape are all customizable. Okay, I think this is enough for today. We'll continue the session tomorrow. I'll stop the recording.